Could there soon be a change of power in the English royal family? Will King Charles step down in favor of his son Prince William? The stars provide us very interesting informations that I would like to share with you today. But first of all, a warm welcome here on my YouTube channel. And if you would like to receive a weekly astrological and energetic update on what's currently important, subscribe to my free newsletter where I share important informations with you every week about the current energies and what is most important. And if you would like to learn more about Vedic astrology, you can watch a recorded workshop where I explain how to read a horoscope, what the planets, the houses and the zodiac signs mean. The link is also of this recording below this video. When I heard about King Charles' cancer diagnosis, I looked at his horoscope. It is always, as an astrologer, interesting to see what is happening in the life of somebody. And you can find it always in the horoscope. Kings or people in special leadership positions are often literally born under very special stars that have to do with their mission here on earth. And of course, we all have a very important mission why we are here on earth. But there are people who take an even more special pioneering or leadership position. And often there is a connection with the eclipses and there's very special mission here on earth. The sun and the moon are very important for us because they stand for our consciousness. Planet Sun is associated with leadership qualities, with royalty, but we all have those aspects because the sun rules, so to speak, through the daylight. It emits throughout the day. And the moon is also associated with royal energies because the moon is the ruling planet of the night. So sun and moon are most important for us, for our life, and to be aware and conscious. And the sun stands for our soul. It is the reason why we are here on earth. And the moon is the reason for our incarnation here on earth. So the sun and the moon are even both really deep connected. And the lunar nodes are the intersection points of the orbit of the sun and the moon, and you can see it in your horoscope. They are very important for your destiny. And before I analyze King Charles' horoscope, let's talk about the connection of the royal family horoscopes. The Queen herself, Queen Elizabeth, who has now passed away, was not born under an eclipse, but for her it was not initially intended that she will become the queen, because her uncle was supposed to be the king, who, however, abdicated after just 1 year, because he wanted to marry a divorced American woman. And that was unthinkable as a king. And Queen Elizabeth has the lower lunar node Ketu, sitting nearly on her ascendant, with almost only 1 degree difference, indicating a very special karmic and fateful mission that her soul has taken here on earth. And even though she was not born directly under an eclipse, but Ketu stands for a close connection with her ancestors. And her ancestors speak about royalty because it is the lunar mansion of the sun where it sits in Uttara Ashara. Let's look at King Charles' horoscope. He doesn't have his sun but his moon in connection with the lunar node, the upper lunar node Rahu. And they are very close, only 3 degrees apart from each other in his 10th house, where it is about the reputation and his career. There was no direct lunar eclipse when he was born, but almost, and that's also very important. The moon and Rahu can make you very ambitious, but also lead to bizarre ideas, and that they are very future oriented, but may be difficult to implement. They can also lead to psychic problems, Moon and Rahu. Saturn in the 2nd house indicates not an easy childhood. And by the way, it is the sign of Leo, which is the house of the king. And this speaks also of royalty, because the ruling planet of Leo is the sun. And there sits Saturn. And Saturn makes things very serious. And maybe his childhood was very serious. And there could be many obligations and rules that must be followed. His own sun is in the 4th house, in the sign of Libra. And there is the sun debilitated, which means he cannot exercise his leadership role as the king as he would. And that was also the case because his mother ruled for 70 years. And the 8th house in the sign of Aquarius, there is Saturn the ruler. And this house is the house of scandals and secrets. And it might be also important for you to check your own horoscope, your Vedic horoscope, and to check your 8th house, and to see also what is the ruling planet and where sits the ruling planet. Because where the ruling planet of the 8th house sits, this is a house of scandals and secrets. And if you want to have a Vedic horoscope, you can purchase this in our online shop, and the link is below this video. So it is important to look in your horoscope where is the ruler of the 8th house. This gives you more information where you can expect or you can experience scandals and secrets. And with Charles, the ruler of the 8th house of scandals and secrets, is in the sign of Leo. This is the royal house itself. It is the family. It is the 2nd house. It is the internal family circle. And with this constellation, it shows that there were many secrets and scandals in the family. And we could delve much deeper into this, but let's continue. We take a brief look at the horoscope of Princess Kate of Wales and Prince William. And as I said, there are so much connected, those horoscopes, it's really amazing. Prince William, the son of King Charles, was born during a solar eclipse a few hours later. This is also very special. He was literally born as a king, one could say, with these extraordinary stars. His ascendant is also in the sign of Sagittarius, like the Queen. And this means it is a connection with the ancestors, because it is in the lunar mansion Mula. And Ketu, the lower lunar node, is the ruling planet of Mula. And also his Ketu itself sits in the sign of Sagittarius, not far from the Ketu of the Queen. The ascendant means in a horoscope it is the starting point, and it is always very important and gives a lot of information about the character traits of a person and what makes them special. And his ascendant is at 3.52 degrees, very close to the galactic center. which is located at 2 to 3 degrees in the sign of Sagittarius. And this is also very special and speaks for his unique mission that he fulfills here on earth. His moon, and by the way, during a solar eclipse, the moon is in the same house as the sun. A solar eclipse is always a new moon, and his moon is in the lunar mansion of Adra. And the moon stands for the mother, and Adra is connected to sadness and often tragedies in life that is connected in his chart with his mother, who played a very important role in his life, together with his father. Let's take a brief look at Princess Kate's horoscope before we get into the current life cycles and transits that give us even more information about the further fate of the royal family. Princess Kate was born almost half a year before William during a lunar eclipse, almost exactly at the eclipse. Her ascendant is also in the sign of Cancer, like King Charles, and I believe the two get along quite well. Her sun is in the sign of Sagittarius, and the sun stands for the king. And in Sagittarius, William has his ascendant. Very important. This connects those horoscopes deeply together. And her moon, which also speaks of the royalty of the queen, is in the opposition of the sun. Also very significant. The opposite house speaks of the partnership. And she was born with a special mission as the wife of the king, in opposition of the sun. And as if the two had perfectly coordinated this. And a horoscope gives us much deeper insights. And such coincidences are not coincidences. The moon and Rahu has Kate in her 12th house in the sign of Gemini, which brings her a lot of attention from the public because the sign of Gemini stands for the media and the moon stands for fame, namely in her special position to the future queen. There would be much more to say about her horoscope, but that would make this video too long. Also with her current illness, which has now caused her to take time out. And Ketu, the lower lunar node, was currently above her Saturn in the sign of Virgo, and Saturn is the ruler planet of her 7th and 8th house. And the 8th house stands for even serious and chronic diseases. And Saturn is therefore weakened by Ketu. And Saturn in transit is also just in her 8th house. And it is the planet with the highest degrees in her horoscope. And the planet with the highest degrees in your horoscope is also of great significance for your life. And you can also watch and look in your horoscope. What is the planet with the highest degrees? It is your Atma Karaka, and very important. And there is so much more to tell here. But now let's look further. What might come next for the English monarchy? King Charles is currently in the Jupiter-Sun life cycle. In Vedic astrology we have life cycles. And Jupiter rules the 6th house. And the 6th house is connected with the theme of illness. And in a Jupiter phase of life, this activates the planet, which is also in Charles' horoscope in the 6th house. Jupiter is in the 6th house and activates the 6th house. And Ketu, the lower lunar node, is currently in his 3rd house. And Ketu is the energy that often drains us and is a very difficult energy that usually comes with problems. And why is the third house associated with the topic of difficulties and illnesses? Because it is the eighth house of the eighth house. And numerology plays a very important role in Vedic astrology. Numerology actually comes from astrology. And these are not easy times for him. And there is more to say. Because Mars and Saturn, those planets, come together in March in his eighth house. And this could indicate further difficulties in relation to his cancer disease. But we will see how this plays out, and I'm sure he has a good team of doctors at his side, and I wish him the best in this situation. And the upcoming solar eclipse in April, which is very special, and I have already made a video about this event, can bring sudden changes, with Uranus in his 10th house, which stands for his career and his reputation, because the ruler of the career house is in the 8th house, Mars, where things can end unexpectedly. What about Prince William? He is currently in the life cycle of Saturn, Rahu. Rahu is the upper lunar node. We then look at where those both planets in the horoscope, how many houses they are away from each other. And they are 10 houses away. And 10 is also speaks of the career and activates this topic. And his Rahu is in the 7th house. And the 7th house is also about career, and Rahu expands it enormously, because the 7th house is the 10th house of the 10th house. And the 7th house is also about our relationships, our marriage and partnerships. And often we experience that something good happens in one kind of our life, in one part of our life, and in another part it gives problems. And so we can see there are maybe problems now with the disease of Kate, but there is also this new position. And in Kate's horoscope, Gemini is the position where her moon sits. And the moon represents the queen. It means it looks very clearly like a change of power in the English royal family, whether it happens all at once or step by step, in the form that William will take on more responsibility. We will see how this will play out. Perhaps with William, a new era is beginning that entails old hierarchical structures. They are breaking more and more apart. Because also with this great conjunction that happens in April between Uranus and Jupiter, it is about that changes can manifest much faster than we expect. And many people are awakening into a new consciousness, and perhaps it will also be a part of this great transformation that the old monarchy goes down and opens the door for a new form of king and queens. The stars are absolutely fascinating when you engage with their energies. There is so much more to say, and if you are interested in learning more how to read your own horoscope and what the planets and the zodiac signs mean, then watch my recorded astrology workshop where I will show you how you can read your horoscope. More information about this recording in the info box below this video. And feel free to share this video with your friends and family. And as always, I look forward to your comments and I love you.